guess I could take my other shoelace off, and when you're done with that, I can do the other one. Dude, what? What do you mean do the other one? Well, I can do the 600. Oh, dude, come on. Yeah. Sure. Polishing, not removing any excessive amount of material, so we're not changing bearing clearances. Just enough to remove the oil staining, and then we will go to 600 and then actually do a proper polish. I feel like a puppeteer. High school drama class. Remove the crankshaft. We're going to remove the camshaft now because we got all kinds of microfiber debris in there. Fingering the holes. I sure am. Support the back of your camshaft. Avoid wiping out your king bearings. So guys, as you can see here, I have this interesting looking object which is called a glaze breaker. And this has 3 stones on it, and it's on a flexible joint here, hooks up to your drill. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to hone out our cylinders for us. So this tool can be got from any of your local parts stores, and you also have another option which is called a dingle ball. The dingle ball has a bunch of little stones around. It almost looks like a coronavirus, but this one I preferred. What we're going to do is we're just going to spray a little bit of WD-40 into the cylinder hole, and then we're going to run this drill. It's set on speed 1, so you want about like 600 RPMs going around, and you just move the drill in and out. You don't want to go too far in where you're hitting the bottom side of the block. So what you want to do is just get those cylinder walls nice and clean, and you want a nice cross hatch pattern. And what that pattern is going to do is it's going to help your new piston ring seat properly. And by not doing this process, you could run the risk of the rings not seating, and then you could end up with blow-by, poor compression, and a variety of other things. So this step is quite important. This is not boring, guys. So this isn't going to bore out your cylinder, you know, where you actually are stripping material out of the cylinder to increase your displacement. This is simply just to hone and to, again, get your rings to seat properly. So just going to go ahead. Make sure everything is nice and clean here. This block has been completely stripped down, guys, and fully clean, blown out with air compressor and everything else. So we're just going to spray this WD-40 in here. Put our tool inside like this. You want to make sure that you try and keep this joint as straight as possible, and you're just going to run it through up and down nice and easy. Alright guys, so if you have a look at these cylinders, here is a cylinder that I have not done yet. So you can see there's some marks here. There's just a little bit of a line there versus this one that we've just done. It's nice and clean. You can see that we got rid of this discoloration here where the piston rings come up. And it's nice and smooth and a consistent surface, which is what we're trying to achieve. Now, you know, sometimes you're going to have a ridge here, guys, that you might not get the ridge out totally. You just want to make sure that everything is as smooth and as consistent as possible. If you remember our compression test, this block actually tested quite good with 130 to 150 across all cylinders. So by doing this, I'm sure we're going to have a nice reliable motor for quite a long time. So you can see I've already done cylinder number 5 as well. There's a couple more little marks that I'm going to get. I didn't spend as much time in here yet. So I'm just going to make sure that everything looks nice and clean and consistent across all of these cylinders. What'd you go up to? The 600, like you said.
Oh, I did 220, 400, 600.
220, 400, 600.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Oh, okay. I thought you just went straight to 600.
No.
Dick.
Anytime I've done a head, I just take the scotch, go like this, bang.
All I ever used to do.
24, so you're talking 50 and 24, so that's 9. 9 thou, right?
Yeah. Uh, 401.
I showed Brittany the piston rings when I was checking everything out. She's like, "Ooh, those would be nice earrings." I'm like, sure.
Too funny. Lightweight.
Got some used ones. All right, so we're getting to reassembly time as Jordan is knocking out the second cylinder head. I'm going ahead and getting these piston rings installed. So in the Summit Racing rebuild kit, you will get these sealed power rings, and there's a couple different types of rings that you have here. This one's actually already installed on this piston. So on the lower side, you have your oil ring that has this very interesting and unique looking, almost like a spring. If I can actually get one up here. So it's like a spring like this, and that is held in and sealed up with two very small rings. This is actually two in here. That's how small these are. So there's one on the top side and one on the lower side of that one, and then you have your two main compression rings that go on top. So all these are labeled. You can see 2, second groove, number 1 is the top groove, and then you have your oil groove, which is number 3. So we're just going ahead and getting these put on. Nothing too crazy. So even though they're labeled 1, 2, 3, it's actually easier to do them 3, 2, 1. So an important thing to note, even though I said 3, 2, 1, well, you need to do the middle part of number 3 first. I made this mistake earlier. So these don't look like the rings that were on the pistons, but you know, they're designed in a way that they should perform to OE specifications or better. So there is a small little ridge in here, and that ridge goes on the inside, and what that allows is so that there's enough room to get the small rings on the bottom and the upper side. So we'll go ahead and just carefully place this one in. Like that. And we'll grab one of the oil groove rings. And again, we'll just place it very carefully. And just follow the contour around. You do want to be careful that you don't scrape the top edge of your piston. So just take your time. And you're going to grab your next ring, and it's going to go on the top side. There we go. So number 3 is done. Now we're going to go to our next bag. It's marked number 2. Grab one of these guys. So these are much thicker. They're probably the equivalent of 2, if not 3 of the oil ones. I'm going to actually use this handy little ring expander. What's the technical term?
Spreading tool.
Ring spreading tool. So you just place your ring on the inside and spread. So these ones are more firm because they're thicker. And you could put them on by hand. I've seen it done. Summit's DIY video actually shows you how you can do them by hand, but for the $8 tool or however much this cost, better be safe than sorry. You don't want to accidentally snap a ring or nick the top of your piston. And then finally, we'll grab number 1. There we go, guys. So one other thing that we need to look into is the placement of the rings, because you actually want to offset the grooves, or where the rings actually split, so that they can seat properly and do their things. So, because if everything was lined up in the same line, you're obviously going to allow things to leak across there, which we don't want. The other important part to know is that in this case, this little mark on the top of the piston denotes that this should be facing the front of the motor, and that's actually what you use when you're clocking your rings to put them in the right position. So we'll be doing that before assembly. I'll most likely put it down in notes or comments so that you guys are aware of what that needs to be. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. Take your time. You could probably do it in front of the TV. And we're pretty much on the home stretch right now. So once this last cylinder head gets finished up, we're going to make sure that everything is cleaned thoroughly. We'll use the air to make sure that there's no dust or debris anywhere. And from there, we'll probably continue on tomorrow so that we have focus, be using all the assembly lube, getting the bearings, doing all of our torque specs to get everything put back together. Hey guys, so our block is now ready for reassembly. So first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and reinstall the camshaft, get the lifters back in with the little dog bones and everything fitted back on, so that way they'll all be in place, and then we can flip the block over, and then from there we will start putting the crankshaft back in and all of our pistons, which we've put all of our rings on. So everything is pretty much ready to go for assembly here. We've polished the crank, we've polished the cam. You know, like I said, the pistons are ready, and the heads have all been redone with new valve seals, and we've lapped the valves. So that's about it. Assembly time is here, and it's going to be nice to see this thing all back together and looking brand new. So here's our camshaft that's all polished and cleaned up. So just going to go over it once more, make sure that there's no debris or anything like that on it, and then put on some assembly lube. And the assembly lube will make sure that there's a good smooth surface, and it's specific for engine startup for first time break-in. So just going to go ahead, do that, get this camshaft installed. So I'm doing here, guys, I'm just applying some assembly lube to the journals for the camshaft, making sure that everything is well lubricated since we had de-greased so much and cleaned the block out. I want to make sure that on that first startup everything is happy and spinning freely for that first time. Wouldn't want to lose all of our investment, all of the fruits of our labor, or something so silly. This is specific for putting an engine back together. This is actually for a cam guard assembly lubricant. So I'm literally just putting this on all the cam journals, and I'll be doing the same on the camshaft. You can see I've already applied quite a bit here. Just going to make sure that everything is well coated. Then I'm going to go ahead and slide this camshaft back in the engine block. Go ahead and turn the block back over so the top is facing up. Now what we can do is we can reinstall our lifters with the dog bones, and that way everything in this area should be all good to go. From there, we'll go ahead and flip the block back over, and we'll start putting our main bearings in, reinstalling the crankshaft, and then getting all of our pistons in, timing chain, heads, and this thing is going to be rocking, ready to go. So as you can see, the lifters have this little rolly ball on them, and what these dog bones do is they make sure that the lifter is riding the right way on the camshaft lobes. Otherwise, if it was sitting the wrong way, it's not going to lift and do its job. There we are, cam lifters installed.